Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another video. Today I'm doing a story time. So I'll give you a bit backstory for the story time. I actually was supposed to film a complete exam week vlog, but then I realized that in the moment I wasn't there and I was like really stressed and I have exam anxiety and I might talk about it later, but as if now I'm not comfortable disclosing about it that much. I've had severe exam anxiety and I had a few episodes of it during this course of 3 days, and I had to like cope up with it by doing I journey to meditation for coping up with it. And I couldn't vlog on it because I was like constantly looking at my notes to see that whether I remember everything or not. So I decided that I really want to share my experience with you guys on how it went, what was different from it than it happens in India, because coming from India, it's a really different experience of how the exams are held over here and what all rules and regulations are to be followed by us as students also. So I'll be sharing with you the common the common experience, and then I'll be doing the in-depth subject experiences of mine. Was talking about the common experiences. So common experiences which I have been between India and over here is the strictness is the same. And since like over there you have uniforms, so you have to wear a certain uniform, but here even dress code matters equally as it matters in India also. Like even if India, if you give your competitive exams, you are supposed to have a certain dress code, and even in winters, if you give, you're not allowed to wear any jacket, so you only have to wear a hoodie or a shirt. Over here also, hoodie or a shirt, and external jackets and all are to be kept in your bag while during the exam. And some dissimilarities which I found was, yeah, of course, use of calculator in the British curriculum. And use of calculators over here is much higher than how we use it in India. And actually, it's a boon in disguise also, because sometimes in India we focus more on mental maths, and here the calculations are so vague that you cannot like focus on the math that well and even focus on the concepts also. And here also the thing I found different in science specifically is that the rounding off of significant figures, which I'll discuss more in the physics section of this story time. So those were the main things that I found over here. Now I'm only talking about the in-depth like subject analysis, like how I experienced these exams. So I had three exams. I'll tell you my schedule. I had three exams. First exam was maths, which is on 6th of November, and it was from 9:30 to 11 o'clock. But we had to reach there half an hour prior, and yeah, it took around 10-15 minutes for the paper collection and the other things to happen. And after that we had physics, we had on 7th. And then on 8th, if you have English as your main subject, then you have two exams on that day. Others you only had one exam. I don't have English as the main subject. I have shared this before also, that if you have a certain IELTS score which is acceptable by the UK universities, you are not required to study English. And I had a secured IELTS score beforehand. It depends on your university, so you can check out the website if you're applying for any of the such UK universities on the IELTS score required by you and from which country you're applying. For India, majorly in all universities, it is a 6 and 6.5, like 6 in minimum, 6 in all the bands, and overall 6.5. Since I didn't have English, so on that day I only had one exam, which was skills for science, which I feel that it's not a main subject, but yeah, it was tested during these exams, and that happened in the afternoon from 1:30 to 3 o'clock. But in this exam, they're allowed to leave us early if we have completed our paper in advance. So it's not important that you have to spend for 1.5 hours. If you finish the paper early, you can exit the hall in this time. The first exam I gave was maths. So in maths, we had actually got the first 5 topics we studied in the 5 weeks. I'll attach a picture of all the topics, the proper topics that we studied. But first we did surds and indices, which is like algebra, basic algebra, which we study in maths generally. Then after that, we had done quadratic equations, which has a quadratic formula, completing the squares, and also um, factorization method of quadratics, and sketching the curves, how to sketch the quadratic graph. Now CBSE doesn't focus on sketching curves for quadratic, cubic and quartic, which is degree 2, degree 3 and degree 4. So for that you'll have to like practice a bit more when you come over here. But to be very honest, it's not that difficult because till now we haven't yet found out the turning points for a cubic and quartic. That comes for that we have to use differentiation, which will be coming I think the next month or next few weeks. So for maths, the fourth topic was actually transformations and like solving simplest equations. Like we have solved two equations. Over here in India, we generally solve linear with linear, but here there was linear with quadratic, which is it's easy, but we haven't like seen those questions before, so it might be a bit shocking or a bit surprising to some of you guys if you're ever planning to study over here. But yeah, overall the math was pretty easy. The difficulty level of the paper, I felt that it was very easy, and I had completed the paper I completed the paper in 1 hour 15 minutes. And do revise. Very important thing is you have to revise maths, because after giving the exam I realized that I have certain silly mistakes which could have been avoided if I was more present in the exam, and that we will get to know. I'll get to know how I've done it on Monday only. Currently it's Thursday while I'm filming this video, and yeah. So moving on to the second paper which I had. The second paper I had was physics, and I'll just show you the topic for physics. I'll attach a picture over here on the screen also. And for physics, we had scalars and vectors, which is a very basic, simple topic which we study in physics generally. And then we had forces where we had like gravitational force, weight, buoyancy, Archimedes principle, the basic topics of force. Then we had the Newton's laws of motion. Newton's law of motions are very important, and I feel that they're the easiest and the scoring part of physics, in the dynamic part of physics. Then we had momentum, laws of momentum, conservation of momentum, types of momentum, explosions. So all of those topics were also tested. Then we had kinematics. Now kinematics is, it wasn't tested, but yeah, we had studied it during the 5 weeks. Now sorry for the light fluctuation because this light has just suddenly gone. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see it in the video or no, but yeah, it's gone a bit dim. Coming back to physics, I was saying that kinematics we had studied, but it wasn't tested in the exam as much because they hadn't completed the topic. We might do it in the further weeks. Coming to the third paper which I gave, which was on the 8th of November, which was actually yesterday. So it was skills for science. I'll attach again the subject topics already studied for skills for science over here also. But just for the reference, I'll just tell you SI unit and unit conversions. Now there's this particular table which you have to like memorize of all the SI units, the conversions particularly, because they are quite hereby and very confusing. Like you'd understand it when you ever study, but yeah, they're quite confusing in that sense. Rearranging formulas is something which we have been doing in CPSC for like 2-3 years, like 10th, 11th, 12th, we do it. Then rounding off and significant figures is a subject which is topic which you study in physics in class 11th. Again, important throughout the physics of even in CBSE and even over here. Basic statistics is basically mean, median, mode is the average, the median value of the set of data we are given. Mode is the how many times the value is repetitive. We have also studied over here. We also did the frequency distribution table, which is the intervals, how we find out. Then we find out the frequency distribution table, and then find out the mean. Now we also did a very simple and basic topic which again got tested in the exam, which was ratios, fractions, decimals, and percentage. It's a very simple topic, but some people make mistakes in the ratios part specifically because they get confused in what is to be compared to what. So yeah, that could be a bit downside if you haven't practiced really well. So mainly this was my whole exam week experience. Now coming from India and giving these exams, I found the difficulty level a bit easier than the ones which we have given in India. Maybe it's the first exam, that's why I'm feeling so, but personally I felt that you just need a night's revision to like score really good marks in this paper. And now I'm going to be like ending this video. This was it. If you have to take one key takeaway from this video is be aware about how to use a calculator really well, because in India we generally don't use that calculator that much, but it's like it's the speed of which you have to use the calculator is very important in the exams. So yeah, you should know how to use the scientific calculator really well. The shift functions, the inverse, the trigonometric, the exponents, how to the graph, the frequency distribution table. You can do everything on a calculator, but to able to you do it quickly is the main key over here. Practice the scientific calculator really well before you go, and in exams majorly you use a black pen. So again, really important to have a black pen, because some people didn't have a black pen and it would become really difficult for the invigilator to search it. So generally, all exams are written in black pen instead of the traditional blue pen in India. So yeah, this is it for this video. If you like this video, hit the like button down below. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. And if you want to see such educational study related videos, comment down below. I'm planning to make a video on note making and how I make notes and the perfect or like my most favorite way of making notes. So you can leave down your questions regarding that also if you have any. Yeah, but I'll see you in my next one. I upload videos every Thursday and alternate Mondays. Bye.